and use many of these citation softwares out there or services out there. Robert says, write local. 𝐼𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐁𝐎H says, how often should you post on Facebook page? Here's the good thing. You can post once a week if you want to, especially when you get started out. You don't even have to do that. The whole reason I'm starting this is just so it's indexed, right? Because look at this. This is indexed, right? And then look at the DA 96. Do you see that? That's what Victoria was talking about, creating these cloud links on high DA links, DA sites. Okay, so that brings us to the next question, right? Here is what you want to understand. When you have a website, so our website is PasadenaConcreteCompany.com. We want to link to this website from other websites and we want to rank higher. Now you tell me, right, if the backlink is from websites like CNN, Facebook, Tesla, Wikipedia, are those powerful? Or if the backlinks are from unheard of mom and pop blogs, are those powerful, right? Obviously the Wikipedia, the CNNs, the Facebook, the Amazons of the world, right? That's why we want to get these citations going, because here is why. Most of these citations have a high domain authority. So let me take an example of the top ones who are coming, right? This is a citation. Let me open Yellow Pages, right? All these people who have listings in Yellow Pages, all of these guys, they have the name, address, phone number. You see that? This is a citation, right? They have the name, address, phone number. And the Yellow Pages, the domain authority of Yellow Pages, this is not even indexed, this specific page, right? But the domain authority of Yellow Pages is high, in the 90s something, 88, that's a high one. So it's going to be useful to you. Okay, but look at this guy. One reason, even within Yellow Pages, he's ranking below and not at the top is because he just has his business name. He doesn't say concrete contractor in Pasadena anywhere in the URL or over here. He just has business name and he's in Deer Park. Does that make sense? Okay. If any of these guys, when they create, they have concrete. So, like this guy, the top guy who's ranking, you see this guy? There's a reason he's ranking on the top, even in Yellow Pages. I'm not sure if he's an ad or if he's an organic one, but he's probably got concrete somewhere, even though it's a different spelling. Okay. So you can go and create your own citations. You don't need that. We have a citation service where we put the keywords as much as possible. It's in a Facebook group, but the goal is create 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, as many as you can citations and social profiles. So it builds trust. The natural way is when you do it, it builds trust. You are not going to be picked up by CNN or even your local newspaper as a brand new website, and that local newspaper is not going to link to you. But most likely a Facebook page will be a backlink because it's you creating that. Does that make sense? So that's why you need to do that. Okay. So you can go ahead, create a bunch of citations and get it done with. Okay. Create your own Facebook page, LinkedIn profile for the company, a YouTube channel, and a few things like that. 10, 20 is good. Or you can go to the Facebook group and you can see it. Okay, let's go here. I have a done for you citation service where we create, I think, like 100 citations for $50, something like that. And we'll put the keywords the way we want to do it and all that. So let me go back to my profile. Okay, let me show you the done for you service, guys. If you go to our Facebook group over here, in the important URLs, this is a pinned post. You see the URL for the Zoom link for the weekly coaching calls. Here's a done for you website. We can do that. Done for you PVNs and done for you citations, right? I started doing citations with keywords in the URL and title tag. That is more bang for the buck. That helps us rank higher. And so now we can do it in-house. We can do 50 of citations and 50 social profiles. So a total of 100 for $35, right? 100 and this 200 for $68, right? The right way, okay? If you or you can do it yourself for free. You don't have to do 50, 20 is good, right? Or you can go to these more expensive services like Yext and Bright Local and all of that, and they'll charge you $3 or $4 per site, per social profile, per citations, right? So this is something you can do. I'm all about optimizing. I'm all about optimizing my time, my resources, my money, everything. And so over time, I now have a guy that's all he does, right? And the reason we use citations is to build trust. Okay. One more thing when you create the citations, the way you Google's the name, address, phone number, right? So let me again go and search for this concrete contractor Pasadena, right? These are the top guys ranking, right? When you create citations, okay, social profiles, your Facebook page, all of this, the name, the address, and the phone number, the more accurate they are, as close as possible to what it shows up in Google, your GMB, the better, because Google is the source of truth. Google loves Google, and Google says, hey, if we put this is the address. If I can copy this, right? Let me copy this address, right? If you put up in your address, if you say ROAD, right, and then you say TEXAS, right? You put your address like this, but Google will put it to the format that it thinks is best, because that's how it is stored in its database. It is best that you copy and put it the exact same name, the way it shows up in your Facebook page, LinkedIn, all your social profiles and citations, because incorrect NAP, name, address, phone number, will mess with your maps ranking also. Okay, so that's something you want to check into, right? So once we get out of this, how do we find the... Yep, go ahead.
When we create citations, is there a recommended timing? Like, would you not want to do more than certain number per week?
No, I do 100 at one time, because all of them don't get indexed at the same time, right? The first week, maybe 10 gets indexed. Second week, another 10 get indexed, you're fine. With citations, the thing is, here is the thing, right? Let's find this guy. Let's find an address. Okay, let's find a GM. Let's find a website who is ranking on the top. Okay, I want to show this to you. This guy. Let's get his website up. So he's ranking in the maps, right? Now he's probably has a lot of citations, and you can find out what your top citations have if you go to. Oh, this is the guy who's spammy. Gosh, but no, to answer your question, you can put, I do 100 at a time. You can repeat if you want to, it's up to you. Let's go back to a different guy, because Hernandez is still selling Viagra and ranking for concrete. All right, let's go to TNT construction, and let me show you what I'm talking about. And this will tie in with PBNs also. Okay, so this guy here, Mr. TNT construction, right? If you could go and search him within double quotes, and it'll give all of his different web pages, basically, right? Initially, it'll give all his pages when you search in double quotes, and then it starts giving his citation. So he's got a LinkedIn citation. You see that? I'm going to open that up. He's got another LinkedIn. He's got a citation, signal hire, Dun and Bradstreet, his local chamber in his city. You see these Yelp, these are all citations, right? So it's a quick fire, easy, cheap, free way to check what citations. Or you can go to a service like brightlocal.com, and you can put in your competitor and it'll show you all the citations, right? But here is what I want to show you with this guy. So I'm going to take this guy here. Okay, let's go to Ahrefs, and I want to see, even though he has a high DA, right? We saw the domain authority of LinkedIn, where it go? Is 99. That is awesome, right? That specific page has only one. Did I do it right? No, let's go this. Let's search for him first. Okay, look, 98 is the domain rating. So Ahrefs says domain rating, Moz says domain authority. It's the same, right? The domain authority is 98, but that specific page, there's something called page authority, right? And that's 16 according to Ahrefs. Okay. So when we put up these citations, what you have to remember is, yes, you are creating on a high domain authority website like LinkedIn.
Did you see the traffic value on Ahrefs page? The traffic value for that on Ahrefs? 72 million.
Yep.
529,000 pay-per-click. That's the value of his organic traffic.
Not him, not this specific page. That's the whole domain. If I go exact URL, let's see what it says now. The domain authority is still big, is 0.
Okay.
Okay. So where I'm going with this is, what you need to understand is this. Okay. Even though you're creating in this Facebook.com page and YouTube and LinkedIn and all these have high domain authority, right? You're creating a brand new page that's got 0 traffic that's got the domain authority of 1 if it's a brand new page. So there's no power that packs the punch, right? So if you click over here in this done for you PBN rental, by the way, don't go and buy this done for you PBN, and I'm going to close this down. I'm going to just teach it to you fully. You can buy your domains, don't buy from me. But if you click on this link, there's this video that I go deep into explaining the power of backlinks and all of that. Basically what it is this, okay? Here, why are we doing citations? Because we want to build trust. First, we want to build trust, then we want to build power. That's how Google wants it, right? Why are we building trust? Because that is natural. If 𝐼𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐁𝐎𝐎 really starts her own company, any of you start your own Pasadena concrete company, you are not going to go and get PBNs right away or backlinks from powerful websites right away. You're going to be putting up a Facebook page and posting on your Facebook profile and LinkedIn for that, and YouTube maybe, and things like that. Maybe you go to Yelp.com, maybe you go get a Dun & Bradstreet. Make sense? That is just, you're doing all the normal stuff and building trust. So even though Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of them have a high domain authority, you are still creating a brand new page on that high domain website, and the page authority, there's something called page authority, is still 1. Does that make sense? Okay. So there is trust because you are a Facebook page, you're linked to, you're part of Facebook and all that. There's an element, it'll help you move the needle a bit, but there is no power to pack the punch and move it up. Now, if it's a very low hanging fruit, right? Like maybe Pasadena concrete, or very low hanging fruit, you're not picking a fight with Mike Tyson, you're not ranking for personal injury lawyer, you're ranking for a hair salon in a 20,000 population city. Just these backlinks are enough to get you on page 1. But most of the time, these are not enough to get you on page 1, right? Or if it gets you on page 1, it'll probably get you page 1 for the only 1 keyword. We want to now go into PBNs and start powering up all our pages with more power, so it gets more links. 𝐼𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐎 is answering Kami. Thank you guys, I appreciate that. Tom says, I'm sure there is a joke here with Viagra and concrete. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, 𝐼𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐎 picked a niche. I'm putting it on the spot. Well, she didn't pick the niche. We picked the niche, right? Concrete contractor Pasadena. One reason we picked it is because, yeah, the reviews are less. It's all low, very less reviews and all that. But this guy who's ranking number 1, when I click on him saying, yeah, I want to hire you, he's not selling concrete, he's selling Viagra. See that? Some kind of a malware infected website, I'm thinking. Okay, so that's the joke. Okay. So
real quick, if I can ask one quick question.
Yeah.
What you've been touching on seems to be that get that trust. A lot of these are including name, phone number, and address of the business.
Yes.
Now, how does that work if we're doing this rank and rent where we're trying to find a fictitious address?
Great question.
Using that again, or how does that work?
Great question. So Tom's question, for those of you asking, he's asking is, hey, we said put the exact address that you put in the GMB. Tom's like, it's a rank and rent site. I don't have a GMB yet. So number 1, if you can get a GMB, so go find an address by what Donna and Mary did, put a post and ad in Craigslist, pay someone $20 for an address, get the address, get a GMB verified, number 1. Or you can go reach out to these concrete guys who are all paying home advisor in Pasadena and reach out to them and say, hey, I can get you leads. Can you help me with an address? So you get your GMB done. So you get an address, right? Then you can place this here. Or if you don't have the full address for an NAP, I still use NCP, name, city, phone number. So not the full address, just the city, right? To be totally honest, guys, these days, the importance of citations is going down. I sometimes don't use citations, maybe 10% of the time. I know people who don't use citations and are still ranking because Google is going GMBs and reviews, right? And when we use that with powerful PBNs that we'll talk about, it's going to rank you in the maps for a lot of keywords. But I'm always long-term, I want to be good. And so I always do this. Like this post I made yesterday in the Facebook group, this guy, he lost 80 GMBs overnight, right? He has been talking to me for the last 2 months and trying to sell some of his GMBs to me also on how he can get GMBs verified. He does session splitters and this and that and all of that. A nice guy. But long term, he did something wrong that he did not take care into account and wiped out. Now, I'm not saying we are all good and he's not good or whatever. What I'm saying is you want to just prepare for the long term. That's it, right? So it's going to cost you $60, maybe $100 one time to put up these citations, I would say put it up. Right? You can avoid citations, but it's not natural. That's my thinking. Okay. Once you do this, then we move on to PBNs. And when I talk about PBNs, I get excited. Okay, because it can be, we do a lot with PBNs, right? And most people outside, at least I tend to think outside my group, they may use PBNs. They are number one, not up to date with the most up to date thing with PBNs, or they don't know how to find the right PBNs. Okay, Victoria, quick question for you. Do you still use PBNs, right?
I do use PBNs. I have my own network built out, and there it's themed for attorneys. And I generally just use PBNs as a way to push through power. So I have cloud sites linking to an article, and then that article links to my client. So this way they're only getting one link as opposed to 20 links.
Got it. Awesome. Yep. So she's doing tiered linking. Thank you, Victoria, right? Which is an advanced step. We'll go into that, right? But I'm going to go over the overview of PBNs right now. And then next week, we'll probably go into in-depth. But there's a whole module with PBNs. Please watch that, because it may take you 1, 2, 3 times to understand PBNs, get your head around it. But trust me, once you understand it, it's powerful. Like Victoria ranks her lawyer clients. I do white label SEO for my personal injury lawyers. Like PBNs is all I do, right?